Do you ever get to a gig or rehearsal and dig into your bag for a patch cable or a mic cable and try to pull one cable out and wind up with this? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you how to properly store your cables and make this a thing of the past. Coming up. Hey guys, Lucas here with Blues You Can Use, and today I wanted to take a few minutes and show you a quick video on the proper way to wind your patch cables and speaker cables and other cables. Typically the way I see guys do this at the end of the night is what I call the extension cord method. The problem with that is not only will it cause you to get knots in your cables, but it'll also shorten the life of your cable because you wind up twisting the cable. So let me show you what I mean by that first of all. So this is typically what you see. It's the end of the night, everybody's tired, they're packing up, and they grab the cables and they do this. And I'm going to be honest with you fellas and girls, if there's one or two watching, highly unlikely guitar channel, but hopefully there is. This always makes me cringe. And the reason for this is that as I'm doing this, I'm twisting and I'm doing all this stuff. And if I was to take this cable now, you can kind of see it's a bit of a rat's nest. If I threw this cable in my bag and then I went to my next gig and I pulled this cable out and I tried to toss this across the stage, it's going to be a bloody mess. Here's the proper way to do it. What you do with your cables is you start with the one end in your hand here. This is a speaker cable. So with your other hand, you're going to twist towards yourself, and what's going to happen is it's going to make basically a loop like that. The next time, with the other hand, you're going to twist. Actually, this time I'm twisting towards myself and putting the loop underneath that. I don't know if you saw that, but I make the loop and then my hand goes underneath there, right? Okay, so twist like this, make the loop, twist like this, make the loop. And you can adjust the size of the loop. I can shorten the size of the loop by pulling through, or I can lengthen the size of the loop. What you want to try to do is get the lengths of the loop to be, pretty much the same size. Now, a couple of things. Number one, if you do this regularly, your cable will develop kind of a memory. This is a secondhand cable that I picked up, which wasn't mine, which is kind of why you see me fumbling with it a little bit. It hasn't remembered, see that? That's from doing the extension cord method. It's literally almost a knot in there. But because I haven't had this cable for a long time and I haven't used it a whole lot, it's not really got a kind of a memory to the correct method for doing this. So I'm going to do this cable up. This is probably, I would say, about 25 feet. And then what I'm going to do with this cable is I'm actually going to take this cable outside and I'm going to toss this cable, hold one end and toss the cable, and see if we can't get all 25 feet of the cable to go out without having any knots in it. Okay, so when you're done, you wind up with something like this. Now what I like to do is I like to use Velcro, and I would put maybe one or maybe even two pieces of Velcro on this cable and toss this in my bag. And no matter how long this thing's in my bag, when I pull it out, it's going to work every time. But for some reason, when you do the extension cord method, it just doesn't seem to work as well, and you wind up with knots in that cable as well. So I'll show you this again really quickly on a cable that I have been doing this with for a while. And it'll go a little bit quicker. Just takes a bit of practice. It's kind of confusing for people when they're seeing it for the first time. But there's loop number one. And then I'm twisting towards myself, twisting towards you, twisting towards me. Right? Kind of, I call it over-under sort of thing is kind of what I'm doing. Hopefully you can make this out. I'll do it from the side here. Right? And then you wind up with a nice tightly wound cable. So I'm going to take that big my speaker cable outside and we'll give it a toss and see what happens. So stick around. So I'm going to give this a toss and we're going to try and get it all the way down the walkway there and see what we get. Okay, let's take a walk and see what we got. If we did it right, that should be no knots in that cable, and it should extend the whole way. The goal here is just to not have any knots in the cable. Let's see what we got. There's the tripod where the camera was mounted, and here is the cable. We'll walk down the length here and see what we got. So far, nice and straight. No issues. And if you can make it out in the grass, there are no knots. Here's the other end of the cable. And to give you a bit of perspective, that's how far we toss that cable. So winding the cable like that, make sure that you don't have any knots in it whatsoever. Now what we're going to do is wind it the way I see most guys do it, and do the same thing and see if we get the same result. Let me put the camera back on the tripod. Alright guys, so I'm going to wind this cable the way I see most people do it, and I'm going to try again to toss it, and we'll see what we got. Alright, here we go. Alright, let's check that out and see what we got. So I didn't get anywhere near the distance on it, because I got about this far and then I wound up in a rat's nest, which you would have to come along and try to fix. So you can see it's messed up, the cables crossed over each other, and if I was trying to do this on stage, I'd be screwing around. I don't know if you can see that. I'd be screwing around with this mess. I didn't get that on the first go around at all. Okay guys, so hopefully you found that video helpful. For me, I've been using this technique for a while, and I find it so much easier to be able to get to a show and pull my cables out of the bag. I know they're going to work, because they do tend to last longer when you store them this way, and I'm not fumbling around with knots and things like that, so I get set up quicker. It's just a whole lot less stressful. So I'm also wanting to let you guys know that I'm on Facebook now as well, so there's a Facebook page for Blues You Can Use, also on Instagram at Blues You Can Use, and Twitter as well, so feel free to follow me along on those social media platforms if you could. I'd appreciate the support. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you don't, give it a thumbs down. That's fine too. And in the comment section, let me know if you're stuck on how to do this, and I'll do my best to answer the questions there and try to get you sorted out on how to do it. And if you're already doing this, or you've got some other method or tips or tricks, feel free to share it with the rest of the group. So in the meantime, thank you so much for all your support, and I'll look forward to making another video for you guys again real soon. Take care.